to you today. You know, so you're probably wondering, what is the language of light and shadows, and what in the world does that have to do with me? Well, you know, it's all about creating dimensionality. Well, one of the things about creating dimensionality is we need to be able to show beautiful, beautiful curves of a body. And it all starts with not having your subjects look static. Like if you look at the way that I'm standing, it's pretty straight up and down, isn't it? So I'm very, very static. You can draw a straight line from the top of my head down to my feet. So how do I change that? How do I change that from a subject? So I've got an amazing model, Miss Kimberly. Come on up here, darling. Kimberly is going to periodically allow me to demonstrate some of my techniques in posing with you, and it's all about posing in relation to the light source. Yeah, I want her right up here. So, okay, right about there, and I'd like to also introduce you to my dear friend Vicky Papasvagara. She's an amazing photographer from Australia. She created the gown that my model has on today, and we'll be doing her own platform program on Saturday. And by the way, she's also an amazing Nikon shooter. So thank you very much. So what we're going to do is we're going to start. Can you get it in your hands for her, please? Yeah. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have you, Kimberly, I want you to turn your feet towards me about like this. Very good. Now, why did she do that correctly? Why did she do it perfectly good? Kimberly, can you come turn your feet this way towards me here? Wait a minute. Can you turn your feet this way towards me? Every single time she did it right. Why? Because I gave her a visible point of reference, didn't I? It's super easy when you give your subject a very visible point of reference. They can get it right away. So turn your feet back towards me about right here. You notice there's no guesswork. I would not ever stand next to her like this and go, hey Kimberly, turn left or turn right. Whose left and right am I talking about? So I like to give visual cues. Anybody can do that, and that means anybody who's not a trained model can get it. They get it right the first time. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to bring this gown back so she doesn't trip on it. Let's pull this fabric back a little bit this way. And this piece right here. And what I want you to do, Kimberly, is I'm going to have you walk this way across this direction. However, you're going to turn your face and you're going to look back with your shoulder a little bit like this. Turn your shoulders this way a little bit and just kind of look over in my direction. Hand placement and feet are really important. So for instance, if she's going to walk away from me, I want this arm either like this or like this, something along that line, and I want it away from the body, just like that. The reason I want it away from the body is why? So I can see that she has a waistline. That's really important because you see, if even somebody as beautiful and curvaceous as she is, put your arms right tight to your body. And now turn this way with your feet. Would you agree that she looks bulkier than she did before? So see how those subtle movements can change anything and change the way the person looks. Okay, all right, sweetie, okay, turn your feet this way. Okay, the next thing I'm going to have her do is she's going to slowly walk this way, but I want her to kind of turn back and look this direction. But I'm not just going to have her walk like this. We don't want to do that. It doesn't look very nice. What I want is some sass in those hips. I want her to have some sass in her pants. So here you go. So what I want you to do is you're going to do this. I'm going to have you walk with one foot like this. See how my legs are crossing? What happens is it changes the way that your hips move, and it just gives your body a more curvaceous look. Okay, so let's see if you can do that right. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go, sister. Oh, that's the worst job I've ever seen in my life. First of all, she doesn't listen at all. All right, okay, let's try that one more time. Okay, turn around. Okay, now this time I want to see it again. This time I want you to look at all these ugly people out here, okay? Okay, and then when you do that, remember to cross your legs. One like this and like this. And I want some sass, okay? Watch her face. All right, you ready? All right, Scooter, 1, 2, 3, go. Oh yeah, loving it. Oh, we got it. Look at her. Okay, stop right there. Breathe through your mouth and just have some fun. Oh yes, darling, isn't she adorable already? Good girl. So the whole idea is we really want to get this. Thank you very much. I'm going to have her come back in just a few seconds. So come right over there. This was shot with the new Nikon D850, an amazing piece of glass. In fact, I went in afterwards a bokeh at the bottom because it's so sharp. I didn't want the bottom of my studio to show the ground in my studio. I thought it would look a little bit, I thought it would draw the eye away. But notice the way the model is done. You'll notice she's standing up nice and tall and elegant and just very slowly. It's all about every part of the body, moving every part of the body. What about lighting? What can we create with the way an image is lit? We can create drama. So the photograph that you see on the screen here, you'll notice that she's got this strong directional light crossing her face. Now the good thing about this is that this kind of light creates mood. So if in your imagery you're trying to create a mood for your subjects and you want to give them this cool elegance or something that just has a bit deeper meaning to them, then this might be something you want to incorporate. I would not shoot an entire wedding with this kind of lighting, but what I would do, I would definitely do this if I'm trying to show detail on a bride's gown. Things like that really makes a difference. What about a seated pose? Let's see. Notice how this young lady is seated. And I can demonstrate, but for all of you that are sitting, I want you to stand up for a second. Stand up for just a jiffy. And now, what I want you to do is you're going to sit back down, but I want you to barely park your dukes on that chair. I mean, barely park your dukes. I want them hanging off the edge. Come on, scooch more. Okay, now the next thing I want you to do is you're going to slide back. Slide back. Now, did you notice how the center of gravity for your body changed? It made you sit up straighter, didn't it? See, that's how important the way that you communicate with your subject is and what it can tell. So in other words, what are you sitting on now? You're basically sitting on this part of your thigh instead of your bottom. And so I changed that by the way that I had you sit in the chair. The great thing is you don't have to touch your subject to do that. Think about how that benefits you. You can be across the room. Let's say you're at a busy wedding and you're all the way across the room and you want to communicate something to your bride who's sitting on a beautiful bench outside. Well, this is a very easy technique and you don't have to be right next to her to help her to learn how to do that. But now let's talk about the way that the lighting crosses the subject. This again is with that amazing Nikon D850. Absolutely phenomenal. Notice the way that the light crosses the body. It just has this beautiful soft light. Most of the work that I do is done with window light. I prefer that. I do use strobes when I need them, but I just find for me that window light or light from a natural light source works quite well. Why? It means I can move and put my subject in a really good spot like this very quickly, get them posed, and I can move on to the next photograph without having to move a lot of things around. And for me, that's really important. I want to get a maximum amount of images that are really amazing in a short period of time. These days, if you haven't checked it out yet, check out the 105 1.4 Nikon lens. I'm telling you, that's my new favorite piece of glass. If you do portraits, it is absolutely phenomenal. And if you're photographing in that first church of Ugleyville, how many of you have ever photographed in there before? I know I have. It's a great lens to use because you can blur out anything that's non-essential or not important or that you want to hide. So it's a really terrific tool. You'll notice, by the way, in this photograph that my young lady has her knee crossing away from the light source. Why? Why do you think? It's because if I cross the other leg and the leg is in the direction of the light, there's going to be more light on that leg and it's going to be brighter than her face. So we don't want that. We want to keep it simple. In this case, notice the shoulders on this lovely young woman are turned slightly away from the light source again. Bending one knee. Here, come here, baby. We're going to show you how important bending that knee is and shifting the weight is. Because if you look at the picture that's up on the screen, first of all, you notice we have that nice shadow. Hang on, let me move right over there for just a second. This shadow right here is really critical. That's what helps us to have dimensionality. The shadow underneath her bust line gives her bust line shape. If you photograph from the same direction as the light source, guess what? You're flattening her out and it's not flattering. So turn that body slightly away from the light source and photograph from the shadow side of the body and you're going to add more shape to that person. So come here, pumpkin. Now I'm ready for you. Watch out, don't trip. So we're going to just push all this fabric behind her. And the first thing I want you to notice, put your feet together, your hands just at your side. Static, straight up and down, boring, not very nice. So now just with a few tweaks, let's see what you can do. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to have you separate your feet just a little bit. Good. This hip right here, just push it towards my hand. Good job. Guess what? Where did her weight shift when she pushed her weight towards my hand? You realize you don't have to tell people those stupid photography things like, put your weight on your back foot. Think about it. Which is my back foot? I don't have one, right? So by just saying push your hip one way or the other, hey, let me demonstrate that. You guys all stand up for a second. Okay, stand up, and now I'm going to just demonstrate how easy this is. And all of you that are standing around, you can do this too. Okay, ready? You kids about in this half of the room, your hip right here, this is your hip. Just go, boom, push it this way. Oh, you did it right. You kids over here, go, push it this way. Love it. And you see your weight immediately shifted to that leg, didn't it? How easy is that? The next thing I want you to do that's really important is you want to bend the knee. Bend one of your knees. It doesn't matter which one. You want that subject to bend a knee because you want to break it. You need to break it a little bit. This is critical though. Make sure the toe is facing forward. Why? Well, let me show you. If my foot is facing this direction, see how you start seeing the larger part of my thigh? Facing forward, you're seeing just the top, the front part of the thigh, which is thinner. So you want that toe to face out forward. So let's show our beautiful model. So you're going to bend that knee and then drop it over. Beautiful, very nice. So now that's only half the battle. Let's get her, let's do something with her hands a little bit. So now I think I want to try a couple of things that are going to be really, really nice. Let's get rid of this fabric for a second. Okay, very nice. We want to see the side of the hand, not the back of the hand, if at all possible. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is I just want you to shake it out. That's it, beautiful. Okay, push your hip this way, like this, and the opposite leg, bend that knee, point your toe towards me this way. This hand on this side, just kind of bring it up your leg a little bit, beautiful. Now it's important, what I want is I don't want this elbow out here. I want to tuck it back here, and then even maybe bring this arm down a little bit more. Just have her kind of rub it down her leg just a little bit. You see, we want this little bit of a break in here because it'll showcase the waistline. And then on the other side, bring your hand back this way, just a little bit, beautiful, very nice. And this hand, just we want a slight bend in this arm right here. So it really, really works beautifully. Let me see what it looks like to have you turn this way with your feet a little bit. And now undo your legs. And this time I want you to let go of your arms. This time I want you to bend this knee, push your hip this way. Now I'll tell you why I did that. Because in this room, kind of our main line, it's a little bit flat, but our main line is kind of coming from this direction. So I kind of want that light to cross over her. And so I want to push your hip away from the camera. Turn your hips this way just a little bit more. Beautiful. Perfect, right there. See how we're getting down this nice shadow area right here? It's really pretty. Well, and the way we can pose women, we can do a lot of different things. We can take her leg, we can cross it in an X like this. We can take it and stretch it out. And you notice that I'm not moving my body, I'm just moving my leg. Think about when that could benefit you. You can create a completely different pose if you were doing bride in the church or something like that. And the great thing is you don't have to monkey around too much with the bottom of her dress. So it means you can create a different look to the image by the way that we just make slight movements to her legs. Okay, so now let's try one other thing. Now she's a really tall girl. I'm 5'1", she's 5'10", so she's 5 inches taller. Now I'm faking it today because I'm wearing my heels. But let's do the same thing you just did, bend this knee. Beautiful. And the next thing I'm going to have you do is just a tiny bit. Turn your face this way. Beautiful. Very, very nice. And now with your chin, first of all, turn your shoulders a little bit. Beautiful. And now with your chin, I want you to slightly lean towards me. Beautiful. Do you see what happens when she just slightly leans forward? Let me demonstrate for you how important that leaning forward is. What does my body language say to you right now? Back off, right? I don't even want to be messing with that chick, right? Notice what happens if I do one thing. Isn't that amazing? So now, am I saying back off? No, I'm saying, hey, I'm interested in what you have to say. So that slight bit of leaning forward can be very helpful. Well, let's see how we can use that with two people. Here, come here, gorgeous. So are you a professional model? knew you were a professional model. Okay. All right, Pumpkin, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you, let's see, turn your feet towards Vicky. Vicky, turn your feet a little bit towards Kimberly. I'm not so much, about half of that. Good job. Coming a little closer. You're best friends since junior high school. Good. And now, Vicky, you're going to push your hip away from me. Boom, that's a girl. Love it. Keep that shoulder turned this way. Oh, love it. Very good. And just for something different, we're going to show your little booty a little bit more. So I'm going to have you turn your hips towards me this way a little bit more. Beautiful. And now with your chin, you girls are going to hold hands because you've been friends forever. With your chin, Kimberly, I want you to lean towards her with your chin. Beautiful. Turn your face this way. Oh, love and look at her. And we're triplets. So it's a real easy thing to do. Stay right there for a second. And now once you've done that, girls, slightly lean forward. Oh, darling, that looks so cute. Love it. So just those tiny subtle movements. Now, we're going to add mother to this picture since obviously I'm way too young to be their mom. So, but here, let's try this. I'm going to come in the middle between you two girls. And I'm the biggest one in the bunch. So Mama's going to be high in her hips, okay? Okay, so here's what I want you to do. You're going to turn this way a little bit more. Beautiful. And I'm going to have this part of your body right here. Push it towards me this way. Beautiful. This is a really great pose if you have a bride that has a really pretty dress that has a beautiful back on it, because you add a little bit of tension to the back side. It's really quite pretty. So here I am. This is my daughter and my other daughter right here. All three of us are nice and cozy. And now all three of you guys lean forward to me this way a little bit. See, we're making a Bambi sandwich right here. Awesome. Okay, girls, thank you so much.